Children's Ground is a systemic response to intergenerational disadvantage and inequity. So what that means is it was designed to really change the way the whole system operates. It's not a program, it's not short term, it includes 8 key principles. So it's very simple in one sense, but it's what's not happening at the moment. So it's starting early, working with every child and every family across a community for 25 years. So at the moment we have short-term, piecemeal, program-by-program delivery. This is a holistic program integrating key elements of learning, wellbeing and development across the life journey of a child at scale and with the sort of resources that kids that are facing extreme inequity need. Part of that in these communities where there's extreme disadvantage and inequity is often we see a little bit of programs here and there, and we're thankful for the bits and pieces that we get. If you go to Melbourne, to a middle class school, average class school, kids have opportunity to good education, to good health, to good wellbeing, to extracurricular activities, to holiday programs and activities with their families, and to some economic stability. And that's all we're talking about in these communities. We're saying every community of high disadvantage and inequity deserves the very best. And we shouldn't stop until we get that, and we can achieve that in Australia. So it's not enough just to be thankful for a little bit of a program that deals with a couple of people. If we've got a community across the board, high disadvantage, let's support everybody. And if we do that on a critical mass, communities will lift themselves out of poverty. They don't need to be told what to do. And that leads to community agency. Often we dictate solutions. Children's Ground is about honouring and respecting the voice and the agency of people, to know that vision and to back that vision with the resources necessary for excellence in the long term. Yeah, so being strong both ways, particularly in our work with First Nations communities, is that many First Nations people, most, will identify first culturally as Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander, with their link to land, if they are still connected with their language, to their identity, to their sense of belonging and cultural agency. Too often in the mainstream, we don't recognise that. Nearly every family I've talked with and worked with and know personally want their kids, what we call strong both ways. So at year 18, knowing their identity, their land, their language, their culture, their connection, like any community anywhere in the world. People want to know where they belong, what their identity is. But they also want their kids to be equipped to engage with the global world. They want their kids to have the opportunity to go to university if they want to, or to take the jobs in their local economies. So it is possible for us to create a learning wellbeing platform that allows kids to do that. So that's what Strong Both Ways is about. I've worked for 20 years, and 20 years goes very quickly. The policies, the practice, the history of colonisation, particularly of First Nations communities, has been executed over 230 years. 25 years isn't a long time, and some people are saying it's not long enough. We took many, many years to try and destabilise that culture. So to create an environment that supports that culture, that supports every family and every community, every child and every family within a community, whether it's a First Nation community or a community with high multicultural diversity, we need to be able to honour that. And we know that issues of entrenched inequity, whether it be in mainstream white communities or Indigenous communities, go across generations. So if we can't change that for a family, it will continue across the generations. So the reason it's 25 years is so we can start with that child and we can stand by them and their family, listen to what's working, what's not working, ensure that the voice of that family and that child is heard, and then we can make adjustments in our system to be able to address the particular needs of that family within the broader community.